everybody. Welcome back to Gail Knows New Homes. Happy to be here with you today. We're now moving on to step 2 with regard to how to be a strategic new home buyer. This time I want to talk a little bit about to be represented or not to be represented. Oftentimes, as an on-site professional, I will encounter people who are convinced they don't need to be represented. They feel they can handle the transaction themselves, or in some cases they may have bought a home in the past and had an agent and that experience didn't go very well, or they may feel they understand the business well enough to do it alone. New homes is a lot different from resale. Unless you're an attorney or a real estate attorney, you're going to understand many nuances in buying new homes, but even people in that industry aren't going to understand the workings of the experience of the day-to-day. They're going to understand the legal side of it, but they too are not going to fully understand the process. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about what to look for when you are searching for an agent to represent you, or whether or not you don't need one. Let's first deal with why you do need one, by addressing why people think they don't need one. Again, they think they know everything, they can handle it on their own. Sometimes people think the on-site represents them. No, that on-site buyer represents the interest of the seller. Now, I'm not suggesting you just go find any licensee to represent you in a new home transaction. What people do in short sales and foreclosures and resale in general is a lot different than what we do in new construction. Number one, incentives generally are pretty set. Number two, if it's a hot community and it's moving fast, there isn't going to be a lot of negotiation. And if it's a community that's not moving fast, where there's a lot of heavy negotiation, you may want to think twice about that development and perhaps even do a little research on the status of that builder and their stability in that respective marketplace. I believe you need to be represented because your interest needs to be protected, and you need to be represented by someone who fully understands new construction. That's why I've made the decision to come from behind the chair and serve as a value add, not only to licensees, but to consumers as well, to make sure that you are able to pair yourself with someone that's not only a good fit for you personality-wise, but someone that's going to get you through the transaction the right way and is going to make sure that your interests are protected, will make sure that your transaction goes smoothly. That's why I take the time to train licensees on how to manage their new home sales transactions. So when we talk about the value an agent needs to bring to you who's going to represent you, number one, they need to fully understand the new home sales process. Number two, they need to be very familiar with all of the builders in the area, the developments they have coming up, the most cost-effective, best value proposition out of the communities they have available, and identify a floor plan or series of floor plans that not only meet your needs, but will give you the best value proposition. Again, as I said in the previous video, it's not just about looking at the home. You need to understand the dollars and cents of the transaction. Now, they will also, when you go into a community and they're starting to discuss with you the incentives that are available. Those incentives are available if you go with the preferred lender. A lot of times people don't like to hear that, either because they've already established a relationship with the lender, dealing with a personal friend, or have already gone through this long process and they don't want to change. But what I say to you is your loyalty is to yourself first, and you need to make sure you're getting the incentives you need to make your transaction work for you. Now, when we sit down and we do one-on-ones or group consultations and our webinars with people who are serious about buying, we take you step by step, tool by tool, task by task, down the path of what needs to happen to make sure you can choose the best option for you and get the best deal for you. It would take a lot of time for me to tell you all those facts, but if you look below this video, you'll see the dates that we have set up for some upcoming webinars and You also can schedule a one-on-one consultation if you are in the Atlanta or the Manhattan market. What else can I tell you about being represented? I think that licensee you're working with has to be someone who is professional, top-notch, pulled together. Stay tuned. I'll be right back in just a moment with a few more details. So hey everyone, welcome back to Gail Knows New Homes. When we left, we were last discussing the importance of working with a new home sales expert, not just an agent who's a licensee who sells whatever comes their way. You really want to work with someone who's skilled in new homes. The nuances and details of a new home sales transaction is a lot different than a resale transaction, a short sale transaction, a foreclosure transaction. You basically have about three components to the deal. You have the negotiation and the incentive that's offered, your build time if it's not standing inventory, and the closing process and the expectations during the closing. And usually, if you're working with an expert, it should run smoothly. And if there are hiccups, you'll know what to expect before it even happens. If in your last new home buying transaction you were constantly taken by surprise, more than likely you weren't working with a licensee who specializes in selling new homes and sells new homes on a regular basis. So how can I help you overcome this problem? Well, as a new home sales and marketing educator, part of our teaching program entails training licensees on how to operate utilizing a set of best practices when working with their clients looking to buy new construction. 1. 2, if you decide to participate in one of our strategic new home buyer webinars, you're going to know exactly what to look for. Now, it doesn't negate the need for professional, but it will arm you with the critical information you need to go through that transaction with more ease. And then lastly, you want the better deal. You want the best deal that you can get. And sometimes when people are driven more by what they see instead of measuring the viability of the transaction as a whole, they miss the better opportunity. So if you know you want to buy a new home and you're 6 months to a year out, you're actually in the best position. If you're in that 30-day window, we can offer you a set of guidelines by which to search by which to find representation. If you decide you want to partner with a concierge service, we can show you how to do that. Usually when you work with a concierge setup, there's a lot of perks and benefits for you, and we talk about that during our strategic new home buyer seminar. So that's all I'd like to share with you for now. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video, and please follow me on Instagram at Gail Bickham, and be sure to register to start receiving our e-magazine, which will roll out in the month of September. In between now and that time, we will be sharing our newsletter with a lot of key tips and upcoming events for those of you that are looking to buy a new home. Again, thank you. Have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you again. Good day.